What if one morning you woke up and discovered that millions of people in California could suddenly lose the right to drive? It sounds unbelievable, but new policies, stricter safety rules, and changing transportation laws are creating a situation where a huge number of drivers may soon find themselves permanently restricted from driving. For many Americans, driving isn't just a convenience. It's freedom. It's the ability to go to work, visit family, or simply live a normal life. But what happens when that freedom starts disappearing? Recent discussions around road safety, environmental goals, and new technology regulations are quietly reshaping who is allowed behind the wheel. Some experts warn that these changes could affect millions of drivers, especially those with certain medical conditions, older vehicles, or repeated driving violations. And the most surprising part? Many people don't even realize these rules are changing until it's already too late. So what exactly is happening in California right now? Why are experts warning that millions could effectively be banned from driving forever? And could these rules eventually spread to other states too? Stay with us, because the 10 shocking reasons behind this growing driving crackdown might surprise you more than you think. Number 1. Stricter license tests. One of the biggest reasons experts say millions of drivers could lose their ability to drive in California is the rise of stricter license renewal tests. For years, renewing a driver's license was often a simple process. Many drivers only needed to fill out paperwork, update their photo, and pay a fee. But that system is slowly changing. California authorities are increasingly focusing on road safety, and that means making sure every driver behind the wheel is fully capable of operating a vehicle safely. Under newer policies and discussions around transportation safety, more drivers may be required to pass vision exams, reaction tests, and knowledge assessments when renewing their licenses. These tests are designed to identify drivers who may have developed issues that could make driving dangerous, such as slower reaction time, poor eyesight, or difficulty understanding updated traffic laws. While these measures are meant to reduce accidents and protect public safety, they could also mean that thousands, or even millions, of drivers fail these stricter evaluations and lose their driving privileges. Think about it this way. Many people have been driving for decades and may not realize how much traffic rules and vehicle technology have changed. New road signs, advanced driver assistance systems, and updated safety regulations require drivers to stay informed. If someone cannot pass the updated test requirements, the state may refuse to renew their license. In some cases, drivers could face long-term suspensions or permanent restrictions. The practical takeaway is simple. Drivers should regularly check their vision health, driving knowledge, and reaction ability. Preparing ahead of license renewal, reviewing updated traffic laws, and staying physically and mentally alert can make a big difference. In a state as strict as California, keeping your license may soon require more preparation than ever before. What do you think about these stricter driving tests? Do they make roads safer, or are they unfair to experienced drivers? Tell us your opinion in the comments. And if you appreciate the effort we put into breaking down important changes like this, please subscribe to our channel. It only takes one click, but it helps us keep bringing you valuable content. Number 2. Age driving limits. Another major reason behind the growing concern about millions losing their driving privileges in California is the increasing focus on age-related driving restrictions. As populations age, transportation authorities are paying closer attention to how aging can affect a person's ability to safely operate a vehicle. While many older drivers remain perfectly capable behind the wheel, studies have shown that certain abilities such as reaction time, vision clarity, and cognitive processing can gradually decline with age. Because of these concerns, California has been discussing and expanding policies that require more frequent testing for senior drivers. In many cases, older drivers must renew their licenses more often than younger drivers and may be required to complete in-person evaluations, vision tests, or even road tests. These measures are designed to ensure that drivers maintain the physical and mental abilities necessary for safe driving. However, this issue is highly sensitive. For many seniors, driving represents independence and freedom. Losing the ability to drive can affect daily life, from grocery shopping to visiting family or attending medical appointments. That is why the conversation around age-based restrictions often creates strong reactions from the public. Supporters argue that stricter evaluations help reduce accidents and protect lives, while critics worry that some capable drivers may be unfairly removed from the road. The key takeaway is that staying proactive is extremely important. Older drivers who want to keep their licenses should prioritize regular eye exams, medical checkups, and staying updated with modern traffic laws. Practicing safe driving habits and remaining physically active can also help maintain the skills needed for driving longer. As transportation policies continue to evolve, age-related driving rules may become an even bigger factor affecting who is allowed to drive on California's roads. Do you think age-based driving rules are necessary for safety, or do they unfairly target older drivers? Share your thoughts in the comments because your opinion matters. And if you enjoy content that explains important laws in simple terms, make sure to subscribe to our channel. It's just one click, but it helps us continue creating videos like this. Number 3. Medical driving restrictions. Another powerful reason why millions of drivers could eventually lose their ability to drive in California is the growing focus on medical driving restrictions. Many people don't realize that certain health conditions can legally prevent someone from driving. In California, doctors are sometimes required to report medical conditions that may affect a person's ability to safely operate a vehicle. This includes issues such as severe vision problems, epilepsy, fainting disorders, dementia, and certain neurological conditions. The purpose behind these rules is simple: road safety. If a driver suddenly loses consciousness, experiences a seizure, or struggles with severe cognitive decline while driving, the consequences could be dangerous not only for that person but for everyone on the road. Because of this risk, California has strict guidelines that allow the Department of Motor Vehicles to review medical reports and decide whether a driver should keep, restrict, suspend, or permanently revoke their license. What makes this situation surprising for many people is that these reviews can happen without warning. A routine doctor visit, hospital report, or medical diagnosis could trigger a DMV evaluation. In some cases, drivers may be required to complete medical forms, attend interviews, or pass special driving tests before being allowed to keep their license. This doesn't mean every medical condition automatically leads to losing driving privileges. Many drivers are allowed to continue driving under certain restrictions, such as driving only during daylight hours or within limited distances. However, as health monitoring and reporting systems improve, more cases may be flagged, which could impact a large number of drivers over time. The most important step drivers can take is to stay proactive about their health, vision, and medication side effects, and always discuss driving safety with their doctors when medical conditions arise. What do you think about medical driving restrictions? Should health conditions automatically affect someone's ability to drive, or should drivers have more flexibility? Let us know in the comments. And if you appreciate the effort we put into explaining these important changes, please subscribe to our channel. It's just one click, but it means a lot to us. Number 4. Insurance access crisis. Another reason millions of drivers could effectively be pushed off the road in California is the growing insurance access crisis. In California, it is illegal to drive without valid car insurance. This means that if a driver cannot obtain or afford insurance, they legally cannot drive, even if they still hold a valid driver's license. Over the past few years, many insurance companies have started raising premiums or limiting new policies because of rising repair costs, accident claims, and vehicle theft rates. As vehicles become more advanced and expensive to repair, insurance companies face higher payouts after accidents. To protect themselves financially, some insurers are becoming more selective about who they insure. Drivers with multiple accidents, speeding tickets, DUIs, or poor credit history may find it much harder to get coverage. In some cases, insurance companies may completely refuse to renew a policy if they consider the driver too risky. For many drivers, the biggest challenge is affordability. Insurance prices in California have increased significantly in some areas, especially in cities where accidents and theft rates are higher. When monthly premiums become too expensive, some drivers simply cannot keep up with the payments. Once insurance lapses, their ability to legally drive disappears overnight. This creates a hidden barrier that many people don't see coming. Even responsible drivers can suddenly face insurance problems due to policy changes, rate increases, or company restrictions. As insurance rules tighten and costs continue rising, a growing number of drivers could be forced to give up driving entirely. The best protection for drivers is maintaining a clean driving record, avoiding violations, and regularly comparing insurance providers. Staying informed about insurance options can make a major difference in keeping the right to drive. What do you think about the rising car insurance crisis? Have insurance prices in your area gone up too? Share your experience in the comments so everyone can learn from each other. And if you value the research and effort we put into these videos, please subscribe to our channel. It's just one click, but it helps us keep bringing you important updates. Number 5. Self-driving technology. Another major factor that could change the future of driving in California is the rapid rise of self-driving technology. Over the last decade, technology companies and car manufacturers have invested billions of dollars into developing autonomous vehicles that can drive with little or no human input. California has become one of the main testing grounds for these innovations, with many companies already running robotaxi services and autonomous vehicle trials in several cities. Supporters of this technology argue that autonomous vehicles could dramatically reduce road accidents. Studies show that most accidents are caused by human error, such as distracted driving, speeding, or impaired judgment. Self-driving systems are designed to constantly monitor the road, detect obstacles instantly, and react faster than human drivers. Because of this, many experts believe that autonomous vehicles could make roads significantly safer and more efficient. But here's where things become interesting. If autonomous vehicles prove to be much safer than human drivers, regulators may eventually begin placing stricter rules on manual driving. Some experts predict that certain areas, especially busy city centers, could one day prioritize or even require autonomous transportation systems. This would gradually reduce the number of places where human drivers are allowed to operate vehicles. For millions of drivers, this shift could feel like a quiet transformation of the entire transportation system. People who enjoy driving or rely on older vehicles may find themselves adjusting to a future where technology plays the dominant role on the road. While this change will likely happen slowly over many years, the direction of the industry is becoming increasingly clear. To stay prepared, drivers should begin paying attention to new vehicle technologies, safety features, and transportation trends that are shaping the future of mobility. Do you trust self-driving cars more than human drivers? Or do you think humans should always stay in control behind the wheel? Share your thoughts in the comments because we love hearing your perspective. And if you enjoy learning about important changes like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel. It's just one click, but it helps us continue making these videos. Number 6. Environmental driving rules. Another powerful reason that could limit driving for millions of people in California is the state's aggressive push toward environmental driving rules. California has long been known for having some of the strictest environmental policies in the United States, especially when it comes to reducing pollution and fighting climate change. In recent years, the state government has introduced major plans to reduce emissions from vehicles, which are one of the largest sources of air pollution. One of the biggest goals California has announced is the gradual shift away from gasoline-powered vehicles toward zero-emission vehicles, such as electric cars. Policies are already being developed that encourage or require drivers to move toward cleaner vehicles over time. This includes new regulations on vehicle emissions, incentives for electric cars, and potential restrictions on older vehicles that produce higher levels of pollution. For some drivers, this transition could become a major challenge. Electric vehicles can be expensive, and not everyone can easily afford to replace their current car. If older gasoline vehicles face stronger regulations in the future, some people may find themselves unable to meet the new standards required to legally drive in certain areas. In large cities especially, there are discussions about low-emission zones, where only vehicles meeting strict environmental requirements are allowed to enter. This means that while driving may not disappear completely, the type of vehicle you drive could determine whether you are allowed on the road in certain places. Over time, stricter environmental rules could gradually push older vehicles out of the system. Drivers who want to stay prepared should keep an eye on emission standards, electric vehicle incentives, and future transportation policies that may affect their ability to drive. What do you think about these environmental driving rules? Are they necessary to protect the planet, or could they make life harder for everyday drivers? Share your opinion in the comments. And if you appreciate the time and effort we put into these videos, please subscribe to our channel. It's just one click, but it helps us continue bringing you important updates. Number 7. Digital driver monitoring. Another major change that could affect millions of drivers in California is the rise of digital driver monitoring systems. Modern vehicles are no longer just machines with engines and wheels. Many new cars are equipped with advanced technology that can track driving behavior in real time. These systems can monitor things like speeding, sudden braking, lane drifting, phone use, and even whether the driver appears distracted or drowsy. Car manufacturers and safety regulators say these technologies are designed to prevent accidents and save lives. Sensors, cameras, and artificial intelligence systems constantly observe how the vehicle is being operated. If dangerous driving patterns are detected, the system can warn the driver, record the behavior, or even activate safety features to avoid a crash. But this technology also opens the door to a new level of driver accountability. In the future, driving data could potentially be shared with insurance companies, vehicle manufacturers, or safety authorities. If a driver repeatedly shows risky behavior, it could affect insurance rates or even trigger further investigation into their driving record. Imagine a system that tracks every hard brake, every sudden acceleration, and every time a driver glances at their phone. Over time, this data could create a detailed driving profile for every individual. Drivers who consistently show dangerous habits may face higher insurance costs, mandatory safety programs, or even restrictions on their driving privileges. This shift means drivers may need to be more careful than ever before. Safe driving habits are no longer just about avoiding police tickets. With digital monitoring becoming more common, every action behind the wheel could be recorded and analyzed. For drivers who want to stay protected, the best strategy is simple. Practice consistent, responsible driving and remain aware of how modern vehicle technologies are evolving. What do you think about cars monitoring drivers digitally? Does this make roads safer, or does it feel like too much surveillance? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy learning about important changes like this, please subscribe to our channel. It's just one click, but it helps support the work we put into these videos. Number 8. Urban car restrictions. Another major factor that could limit driving for millions of people in California is the growing trend of urban car restrictions. Many large cities across the state are rethinking how roads are used, especially in crowded downtown areas. As populations grow and traffic congestion worsens, city planners are introducing new policies that prioritize public transportation, walking, and cycling over private vehicles. In several cities, officials are already discussing plans that would reduce the number of cars allowed in certain areas. This could include car-free zones, limited parking spaces, or special permits required to enter busy city centers. The goal behind these changes is to reduce traffic congestion, improve air quality, and make cities more pedestrian-friendly. Supporters believe that fewer cars on the road can lead to safer streets, cleaner air, and more efficient transportation systems. However, for many drivers, these changes could significantly affect daily life. People who rely on their cars to commute to work, run errands, or transport their families may find it harder to access certain parts of the city. In some cases, drivers may need to park outside restricted zones and switch to public transit or rideshare services to reach their destination. This shift is part of a larger movement toward modern urban planning, where cities focus on reducing car dependency. While driving may still be possible in many areas, the number of locations where private vehicles are welcome could slowly shrink over time. For drivers, the best way to prepare is to stay informed about local transportation policies, parking rules, and city planning changes. Understanding these developments early can help people adapt before restrictions expand further. Now we want to hear from you. Would you support car-free zones in busy cities, or do you think drivers should always have full access to public roads? Share your opinion in the comments below. And if you appreciate the effort we put into creating videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. It's just one click, but it helps us continue bringing you valuable insights. Number 9. Repeat offender penalties. Another major reason some drivers could permanently lose the right to drive in California is the growing crackdown on repeat traffic offenders. Over the years, the state has introduced stricter penalties for drivers who repeatedly break traffic laws. Authorities argue that drivers who continue to commit dangerous violations pose a serious risk to public safety, and stronger consequences are necessary to protect everyone on the road. California already operates a driver point system, where traffic violations add points to a person's driving record. Offenses such as reckless driving, excessive speeding, DUI offenses, and repeated traffic violations can quickly accumulate points. When a driver reaches a certain number of points within a specific period, the Department of Motor Vehicles can issue warnings, suspend the driver's license, or even revoke it entirely. For repeat offenders, the consequences can become increasingly severe. Someone who repeatedly violates traffic laws may face long-term license suspension, mandatory driving education programs, or permanent license revocation. In the most serious cases, drivers may lose their driving privileges for many years, and sometimes the ban can feel almost permanent. The goal of these policies is to discourage dangerous behavior and encourage drivers to take responsibility for their actions behind the wheel. Authorities believe that stricter enforcement can reduce accidents caused by reckless drivers who ignore traffic laws repeatedly. For everyday drivers, the lesson is clear. Maintaining a clean driving record is more important than ever. Even small violations can add up over time, and repeated mistakes may eventually lead to losing the right to drive altogether. By practicing safe driving habits, following speed limits, and respecting traffic laws, drivers can protect not only their safety but also their long-term driving privileges. What do you think about stricter penalties for repeat offenders? Should dangerous drivers face permanent bans, or do you think people deserve more second chances? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you appreciate the research and effort behind these videos, please subscribe to our channel. It's just one click, but it helps us continue creating content like this. Number 10. Advanced vehicle requirements. The final reason that could quietly push millions of drivers off the road in California is the growing push for advanced vehicle safety requirements. Modern cars are evolving rapidly, and governments are increasingly encouraging or requiring vehicles to include high-tech safety systems. These technologies include features like automatic emergency braking, lane keeping assistance, driver attention monitoring, collision detection systems, and advanced cameras designed to prevent accidents before they happen. Safety experts argue that these innovations can dramatically reduce crashes caused by human error, which is responsible for the majority of road accidents. Because of this, transportation regulators are considering policies that could make some of these systems mandatory in future vehicles. While this may improve road safety, it could also create a challenge for drivers who still rely on older cars that lack these advanced technologies. Think about the millions of vehicles currently on the road that were manufactured 10 or 15 years ago. Many of them do not include these modern safety systems. If regulations gradually require vehicles to meet higher safety standards, older cars may become harder to register, insure, or legally operate. For drivers who cannot afford to upgrade to a newer vehicle, this could become a serious obstacle to staying on the road. This shift is part of a broader effort to create smarter and safer transportation systems. Over time, roads may become dominated by vehicles equipped with intelligent safety features designed to communicate with each other and prevent accidents automatically. For drivers, the best step forward is to stay informed about vehicle safety upgrades, registration rules, and emerging transportation policies that may affect future driving requirements. Now we want to hear your opinion. Should governments require advanced safety technology in every vehicle, or should drivers still have the freedom to use older cars? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you appreciate the effort we put into researching and explaining these important topics, please subscribe to our channel. It's just one click, but it truly helps us keep creating videos like this. When you look at the bigger picture, it becomes clear that California is not suddenly banning everyone from driving overnight. However, a combination of new safety laws, environmental regulations, medical requirements, insurance challenges, and emerging technologies is slowly reshaping who will be allowed behind the wheel in the future. Each of these changes may seem small on its own, but together they create a powerful shift that could affect millions of drivers across the state. From stricter license tests and age-related evaluations to medical driving reviews, insurance access issues, and the rapid rise of self-driving technology, the way people drive is evolving faster than many expected. At the same time, cities are introducing car restrictions, governments are enforcing tougher penalties for repeat offenders, and vehicle manufacturers are moving toward advanced safety systems that older cars simply do not have. All of these factors combined could gradually reduce the number of drivers who are legally able to stay on the road. For everyday drivers, the most important takeaway is to stay informed and prepared. Laws and regulations can change quickly, especially in a state like California that often leads the country in transportation policy. Keeping a clean driving record, staying updated on vehicle requirements, maintaining good health and vision, and understanding new insurance rules can make a huge difference in protecting your driving privileges. Driving has always represented freedom, independence, and opportunity for millions of people. But as technology, safety standards, and environmental goals continue to evolve, the future of driving may look very different from the past. The key question now is not just who can drive today, but who will still be allowed to drive tomorrow.